Novak Djokovic is reportedly set to miss out on playing at Indian Wells due to the entry requirements in place for the United States. Novak Djokovic's ban from Indian Wells has split Express Sport readers after tournament director Tommy Haas insisted that it was a disgrace that the Serb will likely not be allowed to play at this year's competition. Djokovic is set to miss out on the prestigious event across the Atlantic as a result of the entry requirements in place for the United States after missing last year's edition of the tournament due to his refusal to be jabbed against COVID-19. Djokovic returned to the summit of the world rankings by winning the Australian Open earlier this year and would be one of the standout contenders to taste victory at Indian Wells if he is allowed to compete. Haas recently insisted that he would like to see the country's entry requirements lifted before the competition gets underway later this month in order to welcome Djokovic, who he believes should be permitted to grace the court in California. "I think he wants to play. So we should give him the chance," said Haas last month. "Hopefully, we can have him there. I mean, it would be a disgrace in my eyes if he wasn't coming to these events, or not allowed to come." It seems as though Express Sport readers are largely divided over whether Djokovic should be able to play at Indian Wells, with 52% of respondents to our latest tennis poll in agreement with Haas over his comments on the situation. 48% of readers remain adamant that Djokovic should be banned, though, until the U.S. puts an end to its COVID emergency declarations after the tournament concludes in May. However, the possibility of Djokovic featuring at Indian Wells does not seem to be completely dead in the water in spite of the entry restrictions in place, with the man himself insisting earlier this week that he is eager to play in the tournament if the opportunity arises. "Everything is in process and I am really thankful to Indian Wells and Miami for their support, publicly, and they would like me to be able to play," said Djokovic. "I have a big desire to play because I haven't played there for several years, so I am looking forward to hopefully a positive decision coming sometime soon. It's not in my hands, so that's all I can say." Meanwhile, there was a greater level of support among Express Sport readers for Emma Raducanu, who was recently given a wildcard for Indian Wells despite struggling with injuries and poor form since winning the U.S. Open in 2021. A resounding 61% of respondents expressed a desire to see the British hopeful competing at Indian Wells as she looks to find her feet ahead of the French Open later this year. Our readers were even clearer in agreeing that Rafael Nadal should avoid rushing himself back onto the court at Indian Wells after picking up a hip flexor injury in Melbourne back in January. The Spaniard will be among the favorites to defend his title at Roland Garros if he manages to stay fit between now and then, and 81% of readers believe that he should bide his time in order to ensure that he travels to France in peak condition.